Welcome everybody, it's Unstoppable Streletsy again with an Age of Pirates map to show you. Today we got Siege of Florence. You might have seen my gameplay of it already, and this map does belong to the Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition Age of Pirates mod. It is a cool new scenario where you play as either Rome or Florence. Even though the name of the map is Siege of Florence, it really depends on which team you're on. So if you're on team attackers, the map really is Siege of Florence because you're actually sieging Florence. You're Rome down here and Florence is up here and you're actually trying to siege them. But if you're the defenders, you're playing as Florence up here and you're actually trying to siege the capital Rome, the actual Vatican, trying to stop the papacy from invading you. It's quite interesting. And it's a pretty interesting map where you got two big cities full of all sorts of tools, resources, natives that you can use to plan your attack on the other side of the river. Yeah, it's quite interesting. So I will probably do this as, let's do Florence. Last time in my gameplay I did Rome, so why not do the Florentines this time? Let's do it. And I will walk through the city and show you how it works. These cities are basically identical, so yeah, if you understand how Florence works, you're going to know exactly how Rome works as well if you happen to be on that side of the map. Yep, you see all these cool units here vying for control of Italy. So much chaos. You got Elmedes, you got Rodelros, and all sorts of crazy stuff. So here you are at the start of the map. You already get some buildings. You get a town center, a market, a barracks, a tavern, and a livestock pen with some sheep already. So you're already given a bit of stuff to work with from the get-go, which is great in whichever city you're in. Over here is where your primary food will be. You got turkeys, so Thanksgiving for over a year. You're going to have to stick with, I guess, turkey meatballs. You know, I prefer beef and pork meatballs myself, but turkey will have to do, I guess. Yep. You also got some berries over here, and then, of course, wait for these sheep to fatten up, and then you can eat the sheepy. That's quite good. And let's walk through the city and just find our way through it, since you're going to have to do that, too, when you're doing this scenario. Over here, by the way, is a coal mine. This will be your most reliable starting coin to get, so definitely keep this in mind, right? Got some trees over here and an outpost you start with too, so that's another side perk you get as well. If you go back into the edge of the city limits over here, you got more trees. This is some building space where you can put some military buildings, whatever buildings you need down over here. Because here's the thing, this is a city map, so if I want to build a wall or something, right, or actually a barracks, you actually can't build normal buildings on a lot of these city street areas. You can build it on some of the areas, mainly in this sort of quarter, but over here, over here, over here, majority of the spots you can actually put down the building. Looks like you can put it here, I guess, so yeah, there's some spots you can do it in, but you don't have a lot of building space. From what I heard from the developers, in the next update they do of this map, they are going to actually add some more building space back here, so you can actually have a few more barracks, stables, foundries, whatever you need to get started, since that's obviously going to be an important part of your gameplay. Yeah. So let's just go through the back here and work our way towards the wall. So in the back, we got Italian houses, nice neighborhoods, and a church. Doesn't do anything, it's just a church, right? We're in Italy, of course, lots of Catholics, so there's a church around every block of the street. You know, if you're, an atheist or a Jew or a Muslim or a Buddhist or a Hindu, probably not the best sight to see, but just accept it, you know, you're in Italy, Catholic country, so lots and lots of churches everywhere. It is pretty cool visually, I will say. I mean, they put a lot of detail into this map, I would say 100%. So, if you like city maps, you like, not being in the middle of the wilderness in America or Asia, this is the type of map that you might like. Lots of buildings, lots of structures, a lot of ones you can interact with. It's pretty cool, yeah. As you can see, a lot of the back of the city is just, churches, houses, other structures. A lot of stuff you really can't use. But over here is something we can use. This is a windmill. And this windmill, of course, you can capture it, right? And now it will trickle some food for you. Pretty cool, right? Also over here you got some grape bushes. So get some of that nice Italian wine with your pasta or pizza. And over here you got a whole vineyard that you can gather from too, which is great. So if you love grapes, you're going to love this section of the map. Also more sheep that you can wait to fatten up pretty much. And once you do, you can eat them. Have some lamb meatballs instead of turkey meatballs. And by the way, you can move these sheep onto this windmill too to fatten faster as well, which is pretty neat. Right. Anything else we can see back here that you need to know about? There's more trees back here, by the way, so if you need some more wood, you got some stuff over here too. Right. And as we move towards this direction, you'll see more churches, more houses, more city squares and all that. We're actually towards the wall area here, and this is where you're going to be exiting out to attack your opponent. You got a ford crossing of the river here. The primary bridge goes right through here, and this is actually a trade route that starts from all the way down here, has a trade socket in your city, wherever that is, and then one towards the end, and then it crosses over the bridge into the enemy city, where there's two trade sockets over there. Yeah. Yep, so on each sort of these crossings and gates, you'll have about 2 battery towers. You can upgrade these using that technology to make it a bit sturdier. And then over here, there is one more river crossing as well. So just be aware of that when you're setting up your defenses, that there's 3 spots indeed that you have to protect. Not just 1, but 3. And you can put fish... You can put fishing boats in this section as well, by the way. You know, in fact, if you watch my gameplay, you'll notice that the AI was actually building docks on my side of the river just to eat up all the fish to make some Italian seafood dishes. So just be aware of that, you know. And there's also another trade route too, by the way, along the river. So if you look over here, trade socket. And there should be one somewhere over here. It doesn't appear there'd be one there, but on this side there's definitely 2 trade sockets. So there's about 2 trade routes that you can take advantage of on this map. There's no excuse for saying I don't have enough resources. There really isn't. You know, between what you get in the city and the trade routes, you should be all fine with resources pretty much. 100%. I should not hear anything about, oh, I'm starving, I'm hungry. No, not on this map. You know, if you want to be hungry, go to Hungary. Austria-Hungary to be exact. So, yeah. In terms of natives here, you got the Order of Malta. You can capture that site. It has all the technologies and benefits of the multi-site, pretty much. I have not gone over that on the channel yet, but I will at some point. It's pretty basic to understand, I would say. So, definitely consider that when you're going through the map yourself. But I'll give you the kind of the basic scoop. Basically, you get a cavalry unit and you get a sword unit that's good against cavalry. So that's all you really need to know for that for now. And then if you come over here you got a pretty big church, right? You get the Great Basilica. And this is the biggest church structure in your city. You know, you got some jugglers there and women and priests praying and stuff. So... But not only is this a church that can heal nearby units and trickle XP for the whole team, by the way, not just you. So it's... Oh yeah, this isn't even a team map. That's the funny thing. So this would be something more permanent if you were on, say, the Venice map. This fact about the church trickling for the whole team, or maybe even the... Actually, no, the Bohemia map is a free-for-all one, right? So maybe not that one, but definitely the Venice map. The team part matters more. So I think I've already gone over some of these technologies with you on Bohemia and Venice, but if you can't remember exactly, this one simply allows this big giant church here to trickle more XP for the entire team, or you just yourself if you don't have any friends with you in the game. Team plus city. All convertible city resource buildings work faster, so... Take, for instance, this windmill over there will be improved by that. Papal legation gives you books, XP crates, and then this will do excommunication that basically disables your enemy's ability to do shipments for about 2 minutes. Quite useful. And then here you got the ceasefire, which you can use to stall your enemy's advance into your base pretty much, which is pretty cool. As you can see, the bot is already attacking me and going after my stuff pretty much, which is kind of insane, but it is what it is. Oh yeah, Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed and Age of Empires 3. The House of Auditoria. You get one of those sites here. Pretty cool, right? Oh yeah, big time. And as we walk through here, we can see more churches, more houses, more city squares. This is the city market of your city. This will trickle food, wood, coin, and XP to the entire team, so that's pretty great. If you come over here, here's your Jesuit site. So you get about 3 natives in your city. You get a Jesuit site, a Maltese site, and a House of Auditoria Assassin's Creed site, pretty much. Yep. And then if you come over here, you got the Menagerie, which trickles food. And in order to capture it, you actually have to beat all of the angry predatory animals, like the rhino, which I didn't know ate meat, but in Age of Empires 3 land, I guess they do eat meat. Bear, lion, and a white tiger. Yep. And you can obviously hunt these animals as well, like the elephants, the kangaroos, the zebras, and the giraffes. And also, over here, you got a factory, but you do need to beat the treasure guardians over here to basically get control of the factory. It's very powerful. It does a generic sort of trickle of food, wood, and coin, and then you can shift it onto an individual trickle for just you, just like you can for a normal factory with about the same rate as that, right? And then as you come over here, more random buildings, right? More random stuff like that. And over here, this is actually a warehouse. The warehouse can actually trickle wood for you, as you've seen on the Storming of the Bastille map and some similar ones like that. And then here is rubble. So you, for whatever reason, you got all these churches in the city of Rome or Florence, depending on where you are, right? And the game actually lets you cut up this church and use it to build more buildings for yourself, you know? It's a decrepit church, pretty much. I'm assuming you can see part of the roof's missing. There's trees growing in it, you know? It's basically a church that didn't pay their taxes or didn't file for the right grants. That's all I could say about that. Also a house over here, too, that you can chop down as well. Yep, some more coal mines over here you can get for coin as well, pretty much. Yep. I think that covers everything. And you might be wondering something. You might be wondering a very important thing. So, how did I get defeated? Clearly I was running around the city of Florence too much and I wasn't paying attention, and the bot just sort of destroyed me, right? Now, there is an easier way to win this scenario than defeating the enemy entirely. And it's this structure right here. The Palazzo Vecchio, Citadel of Florence. This big giant fort here that has a protective range attack and can garrison stuff. It can receive shipments. This thing, you can actually target it, and you can actually take this down, and once you take it down, you win the game. Likewise, if we go over across the river to Rome, they get their own similar fort over there as well. Which, where would that be? It would be right here. The Castel Sant'Angelo, Citadel of Rome. You can either defeat enemies the normal way, or you can, opt to take out this fort structure pretty much. So, just figured I'd point that out. Got 2 options to do stuff. Pretty cool. Also, you do get this ability to capture a bank in the city as well. So you see here the Great Bank. The Great Bank will trickle your coin, and then around it you got these little valuables, these little vaults of coin. And you can mine this just like any other mineable resource, by the way, too. So you got that. And one more thing I sort of forgot about is the Lombard in the city. Somewhere in the city there is a Lombard. I'm trying to figure out where it is here. Should be somewhere in this vicinity. Maybe it's over here. Who knows? And basically that Lombard you can use like any regular Italian Lombard. You can make mercenaries from it. You can you know, do whatever you need to pretty much to make it happen, right? So yeah, figured I'd point that out to you. Okay, so nope, that's a great bank, and it also has technologies on it as well. I think I've gone over it with the Venice map, but we'll just go over it quickly so you know. So you got Team Medici patronage, all team market and such crates are cheaper. Team Torla di Canvi, great banks generate coin faster. Team Bank Loan, ships crates of 500 coin, and for each 10 minutes the game elapses, additional crate of 100 coin. Quite good. And then this, Mercenary Bounties, enemy units grant a small sum of coin when you defeat them. So it's a nice perk. So there's a lot of city stuff here to go over for you. Oh, here's the Lombard. I found it. So this, similar to the factory, is protected by treasure guardians, so you kind of have to fight all these to get it. Yep. Lots of stuff to study in this city map for sure, but if you follow my guide, you go over my explanations that I've just done for you, you should sort of know how to play this map, you know? Yeah, like if it ever shows up in a tournament or anything like that, you'll say, oh, that wonderful Streletsy guy told me how to play the map, so I can know to capture this, capture that, capture this, capture that, and win the game. Yeah. In general, you're going to want to spread out in the city very quickly and start capturing all the city's buildings. If you don't, it might be bad luck for you. So I figured I'd tell you that and give you a bit of a warning. You got to capture these buildings fast before your enemy does. Otherwise, it's going to be pretty easy, GG, and well played. Alright, so that should be it. I'm going to be signing off now for this one. I don't know if they're going to be doing another map in this version. If they do, I will totally do that one as well, like I've already done for this one, as well as the previous Siege of Bohemia one. Definitely looking forward to more maps from these modders. They're just so good at making these Age of Empires 3 maps. I would have never expected maps like this back 2-3 years ago, but here we are. Shout out to the Age of Pirates team for such wonderful work.